There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. In the hallowed halls of a university, a venerable philosophy professor stood before a room filled with eager students. His face bore the wisdom of years spent contemplating the intricate tapestry of life's meaning, and he had a lesson to impart that would resonate deeply with his students. On a wooden table rested an assortment of items that seemed to hold no immediate significance. As the class commenced, the professor, without uttering a word, reached for a towering, empty mayonnaise jar that loomed imposingly over the table. Its emptiness was a symbol waiting to be filled, a canvas yet to be painted. With a deliberate and thoughtful demeanor, he began to fill the jar with rocks, each approximately 2 inches in diameter. As the stones clinked and settled, he turned to his attentive student and posed a question that would set the tone for the profound lesson to come. Is the jar full? A collective nod of agreement rippled through the classroom, affirming the apparent fullness of the jar. The professor continued his silence demonstration. He reached for the box of pebbles, delicate and numerous, and poured them into the jar. With a gentle shake, the pebbles found their way into the crevices and gaps left by the rock, occupying every available space. Again, he turned to the class and inquired, "Is the jar full?" Once more his students acknowledged that it was indeed full. However, the sage professor was not done with his lesson. He reached for another container, this time filled with fine granular sand. Pouring the sand into the jar, it cascaded down, filling the minute voids left by the pebbles. As the sand settled, he gazed at his students one last time and asked, "Now is the jar full?" The students, unwavering in their newfound understanding, responded with unanimous certainty, "Yes, it is full." The professor, his eyes twinkling with the satisfaction of imparting timeless wisdom, seized the moment to reveal the profound metaphor he had woven before their very eyes. "This jar," he declared, "is a representation of your life. The rocks within it are the essential, the bedrock of your existence: God, your family, your beloved partners, your health, and your precious children. These are the elements that, if all else were stripped away, would still render your life complete." His voice carried the weight of truth as he continued. "The pebbles represent the secondary yet significant aspects of life. Your job, your home, your material possessions. They complement the rock, but should never supersede them." Gesturing to the sand, the professor concluded, "The sand, my dear students, embodies the trivialities and fleeting distractions that often crowd our existence. The small stuff that clamors for our attention. If you pour your energy into the sand, if you make it your priority, there will be no room left for the pebbles or, more importantly, the rocks that truly matters." With profound insight, he urged them to discern their priorities, to cherish and nurture the rock first, the fundamental elements that define their happiness. Spend time in prayers, go to church, play with your children, dance with your beloved partner, he advised. There will always be time for work, housekeeping, social gatherings, and mundane tasks consume our days. The key lies in setting your priorities right. The rest is but the sands of time. As the class absorbed the wisdom of their venerable professor, they left the room with hearts and minds forever altered. The jar of rocks, pebbles, and sand had become a timeless symbol of life's priorities, a reminder that in the grand mosaic of existence, it is the rocks that should take precedence, for they alone hold the power to make our lives truly full and meaningful. When we pay close attention to the lessons of the stories, we see that this story encourages us to prioritize the most important aspects of life. Just as the Bible teaches us to prioritize God above all else. In Matthew 22 verse 37 and 38, Jesus says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind." This is the first and the greatest commandment, and the story's message aligned with the fundamental teachings. The professor's demonstration highlights the importance of wise decision making and setting priorities. Proverbs 3 verse 13 and 14 says, "Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better return than gold." The story illustrates the value of wisdom in choosing what truly matters. The story's message is not letting material possessions and trivial matters take precedence over what essentially resonates with the biblical principle of avoiding materialism. In 1 Timothy 6 verse 7 and 8, we read, "For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that." The story underscores the importance of contentment with life's basic necessities. The story also emphasizes the need to strike a balance between work and relationships, echoing Jesus' teaching in Mark 8 verse 38. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? It reminds us that relationships and meaningful connections are of eternal significance. The story encourages effective time management and setting priorities. In Ephesians 5 verse 15 and 16, we are advised to be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity. This aligns with the story's message of making room for what truly matters in life. The story's concept of rocks, pebbles, and sand represent the impermanence of material possessions. This mirrors Jesus' teaching in Matthew 6 verse 19 and 20. "Do not store up for yourselves treasure on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven." It reminds us that earthly possessions are temporary. Ultimately, the story encourages us to seek fulfillment in spiritual value and things that truly matters in the grand scheme of life. It aligns with Jesus' word in John 6 verse 35. Then Jesus declared, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." It suggests that true fulfillment comes from a relationship with God. In summary, the story offers valuable lessons that resonates with many biblical teachings, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing God, wisdom, and contentment, relationship, and spiritual values over the transient and material aspects of life.